Hello, and welcome to today's Coffee Talk. Kids are out of school. How are we going to make it through this
I'm so bored.
summer? Yes, so we're going to give you resources today to help you keep your kids occupied.
Yes.
So you can get some work done. How many of you guys have ever had a kid come to you and say, I'm bored?
I'm bored. Especially now because there's so much immediate gratification with video games and TV. And when you are a parent who limits screen time, they're bored. And what I've noticed is they have to get and they hate you. And they have to get to this boredom point before they can actually become creative.
Right.
And we have to let them get to that boredom point.
Yes. So that's the first piece of really great advice is sometimes the solution is to do nothing and just let your kids be bored, because when they're bored is when the magic happens. Show them some of the magic that has happened when John Henry was bored.
I will show you. You know, fidget spinners, those annoying things that are super popular for all kids. So this is a wood fidget spinner that he made. He took apart a skateboard to get these, and with the same skateboard that he took apart, he made another fidget spinner with a hot glue gun. Like, this is hot glue, my friends.
That's all hot glue. I thought it was cardboard and he hot glued them in there.
No, that's like all hot glue. Okay?
That's actually pretty amazing.
Yeah, and this one doesn't spin quite as well. And then, of course, he's made
million.
He's made a million of them out of Legos. But this was all out of boredom, my friends.
I'm not even kidding. That is when the magic happens, is when our kids are bored. That's when they come. My kid, I have 4 that get super duper creative and come up with the funniest, like, pretend play things when they're super bored. Like, all of a sudden, they're all teenagers going off to college, and these are their dorm rooms, and it's just, you know, they always have these, like, crazy adventures when they're bored. So that's the first tip. But then we actually do have some resources to give you guys to ease the boredom. Per se, right?
Well, one thing I want to share is something that I found a couple years ago, and you've seen it too on Pinterest.
Yes.
Where it says, it's a board that says bored, B-O-R-E-D. And it has it, like, you put this on your wall, and B stands for be creative. O stands for outside play, ? Read a book is for R. And exercise, 20 minutes. And D is for do something helpful. So you can have that printed out. I'm actually going to print that out for my kids.
I'm going to blow it up poster size.
I'm going to blow it up. Maybe I'll actually make them. I have poster board. Maybe I'll have them make that as a poster board so they can actually do it.
Crafting.
But if they say that they're bored, they can go look at the board.
That's a good idea. Get up on that board.
Board. Okay, what else, Anna?
I have my list over here. So part of summer that they all say, so let's start with some educational things, okay? I do think the summer should be mostly play, but I do think that it's so important in between summer and school for them to at least maintain the skills that they left school with. And so we both do different things. This year I am going to switch it up and try a couple of the things that Jamie is recommending. I've always gotten these Summer Bridge workbooks, and you can get them all on Amazon for their grade level, and they're like these really nice thick workbooks. My kids love them because they play school with them too. I don't know if your kids do that. What they like rip out pages and they'll play school, and they'll still do all the worksheets. So
and it's Summer Bridge because it's bridging between the grade they were in, it's reviewing the grade they were in, and then going into some of the stuff they'll get into in the next grade.
Yes, exactly. So I usually have my kids, like, in that morning time, they need about an hour of doing some of that workbook and then just reading. Because reading is so important. I'm going to add one of the things that Jamie is going to talk about because I think that's really cool, but giving them some just educational time to use their brains in that way before they're outside for the rest of the day, you know?
Right. Yeah. And so I did the Summer Bridge books too. My son is getting older and I don't know how to do all of his math. And so online math is a little bit better for us. So a couple things that we use, websites that we use as resources. For one is Typing Club. So before Typing Club, I used typing.com, but you can use either one. And the reason why this is so important this year, I realized like my kids, everything's becoming like typing oriented, yet they don't really teach typing. At this school, last year, they did teach it through Typing Club. And so we're just continuing that. But that, I have them spend 20 minutes a day on Typing Club. And I might even up that because once you get into it, it's really easy for them to do. But then it tells your accuracy and it tells your speed. And you can't get to the next level until you've hit a certain accuracy and speed.
So I'm going to do that for our kids this summer. It's so funny. Jamie and I were talking about this earlier, that my kids' school has now moved basically everything to Google Drive, which I absolutely love because I love Google Drive. We use Google Docs for like everything in our business. And our school has moved all of that, but they haven't yet in elementary school. They start in 6th grade, but in elementary school, they haven't yet started teaching the kids any typing skills. So they're expected to write all their papers in... Right,
and it takes forever.
...in Google Drive, but they don't know how to type, so they're literally like, bink, 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 you know? And it literally takes them forever, and it's super frustrating for them. So I'm adding Typing Club to the kids' repertoire this summer.
And then check out Khan Academy, Khan, because I used that for homeschooling last year, and it was really great. For Elizabeth, last summer she did art history with Khan Academy, and John Henry did math. And so for his, I still have him do math in Khan Academy because his math is more advanced, and it gives badges, and then that way if he's struggling, it gives a video. So Khan Academy is really, really great for math. And then the other thing through Khan Academy is code.org. And I'm having John Henry spend time, because he's interested in that. Elizabeth's not quite as interested. I'm having him spend time in coding, learning how to code. So that's been a really great thing. Now, these things are for a little bit older kids, elementary age. But if you've got pre-elementary kids, there's ABC Mouse.
Yes, that was like a saving grace when it wasn't until last year was the first year that Asher, my youngest, was in school all day. And so the years before that, I had him home by himself, and he got a lot of ABC Mouse time for me to work. That was
our kids love Starfall. Did you guys do Starfall? That's a free one. Okay, so Starfall is free, so that's a really good one too. And then we went into our Snap Society community and asked our people what are some educational sites that they use, and so here's a couple that we got: discoverykid.com, education.com, and So Happy to Learn. And so I'm not sure if some of those are paid or not, but those are a couple that our people suggested.
Check them out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, besides computer stuff, what are some other things to keep our kids occupied?
So the one thing that I did this summer, and I've actually done it 2 summers in the past, was to get a trashy pool. I call it a trashy pool, but it actually does not look that trashy. It's an Intex pool. I got the Intex Ultra Pool. It's 15 feet, and it took about an hour to set up. It took about a full day to fill. But for me, as a work-at-home mom, every day can't be like an activity that we are leaving the house for.
Right.
And so having the pool is like great. I can actually go sit under an umbrella with my laptop on some of the days that I end up working a little bit longer. And I can watch them swim in the pool and work at the same time. My kids are older; they can all swim, so I'm there.
Right.
You know, it's not like I'm just putting an infant in the pool and then working. So all of that can happen because this is right in my backyard. And then we also end up being a house where a lot of the kids in the neighborhood come over, so it's just easier to keep an eye on my own kids and what they're up to and what they're doing. So, and that pool is only $250. And if you're doing it right now, everything is starting to go on sale because it's further into the summer already. Yeah. They consider this further into the summer.
Yeah, that's so crazy. The other thing that I do is, we did this last year. A couple of the neighbor kids and my kids put together strips of paper that they came up with board ideas, like ideas of things to do when they're bored. And they cut it into strips and they put it in a little jar. I should have brought that down. And then they pull from the jar when they're bored and they do that thing. So that is something that we have from last summer, and they decided they wanted to go through that and revise it.
I actually feel like that's great also for kids. Like, I've got 4 kids that are sometimes argue over what they're going to play. And it's like, here, pick, like, so then nobody has to be the boss. Like, here, this jar decided for us, you know?
Yeah. Yep. And then Anna is not crazy about crafts, which I can totally understand, but there are certain things that are easier crafts. So this has been something that my kids have been really into.
Which I am going to get my kids because it's
so I did talk
a
her
low
into
mess.
this.
It's a low mess craft.
Yes. Yeah. So it's these little beads and you're like, low mess. Those are a lot of beads, but my kids are in charge of picking up the beads, you know? And then it comes with this wax paper. And so they can make any design they want on here. They don't just have to make it a square. That's the great thing about this is they've made some really cool designs. If you look up on the internet, you can find designs and then it will take them hours. That's what's so beautiful about it. My kids are old enough. I've got a 9 and 11-year-old, and the 9-year-old is the female, and she's the one who she likes to do the ironing. He, for some reason, won't do it, even though he's older. So you put this on and you iron it. The biggest mess is the fact that the beads are all over the place, and they have to clean it up. It's not like you're having to put a lot of things in different places. It's all in here.
Yeah. So that's the same thing. Like, I remember when my kids were little hating Play-Doh because I'd end up having to pick Play-Doh out of everything. If my kids play Play-Doh now, they have to clean it up. If my kids bake now, they have to clean it up. So if your kids are young, just know that there's hope. There will be a day that they just clean up after themselves.
They are fully capable of doing it. They may not like it, but they'll do it.
No.
So one last thing that I have been doing is dumpster diving.
This is my favorite.
So we have new builds. We have a neighborhood right in front of us that's new builds, and there's a bunch of dumpsters. And so I went to the general contractor and I said, "Hey, can we take things out of the dumpsters?" And he said, "If it's in the dumpster, it's free game. You can totally have it." So I have friends who live on land, which I covet. I covet that because their kids can climb those trees and build forts and make things from the trees and do all this stuff that my kids can't because we don't live on that land. We don't have those trees. So instead we go dumpster diving. I have a corner of my yard that you don't really see, and we put stuff in there, and then they have been creating things like from a skateboard that they got out of the dumpster. Yeah. That's where they got these.
That's so funny.
So
I bet he could oil that up and it would spin better.
Oh yeah, totally. He also made a pitching area for himself with an old tire and boards and my fence is also broken because of that. But we have all these things, all these random things on the side yard that they have to get creative and think about. But last year they had made a lemonade stand themselves. So it didn't look quite like a lemonade stand you and I would make.
But they'll make more money that way because people will feel bad for them.
Yeah. That's anything else, Anna?
No, that's all I got.
Okay.
Since I hate
have
crafts.
one last thing. I have one last thing.
Okay.
But it's not something that they can do on their own. This year we're actually volunteering, and I took a lot of time to research to figure out. It's funny. You think it's just so easy to figure out a volunteer thing for your kids, but when you have young kids, a lot of places don't allow like young kids to come and volunteer. So one place you can talk to different shelters for animals. That was an option for us. What we landed on is volunteering in the nursing home. And so, and the other thing was in food pantries, like you can do the organizing of that, but I really wanted them to connect with people.
Interact with people, yeah.
Yes. And in those, they weren't going to get to do that. So with volunteering with the elderly, and we were reading the book The Giver, Anna, that you had suggested to us, and one of their jobs in The Giver is the elderly, and so it kind of made them excited about that. So that's another thing. Obviously I'm going with them, but it's something that we're doing in the summer where it's a certain day each week that we know we're going to go do.
Right. I can't wait to hear about that as you keep doing it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. That's all, right?
That's all. So in the comments below, we want you to tell us what are some of your summer resources that you have so that we can all glean.
Yeah, if there is a site you love, share it below. If there is a craft that you found on Pinterest or something, share it below. Like, seriously, spam us with your ideas. If you want to respond to the newsletter and share something with us, do that. We love to hear from you. So share everywhere. Everything you know.
Share everywhere.
Share everywhere, everything you know. We want to know all of it because we're desperate here, people. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, we are.
All right.
Okay, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, so
in your inbox if you're subscribed. How do they get subscribed?
Yes. So every week we're doing coffee talks all summer long. So if you are subscribed, you'll get them straight to your inbox on Wednesdays. If you are not subscribed, do it. What are you waiting for? Go to thesnapsociety.com, click on Join the Party, and you will be getting a lovely newsletter from us every week.
Yes. Yeah.
Score.
I don't know what that was.
Score 1 for you. Okay. Alrighty. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.